You've heard of good and bad cholesterol, but what do those terms really mean? Cholesterol isn't always the villain. It's about balance, not elimination. Today, we'll reveal the simple truth behind LDL and HDL and how to fix it without drugs. Let's face it, cholesterol is one of the most misunderstood words in health today. For decades, it's been painted as the enemy, blamed for everything from clogged arteries to sudden heart attacks. But the truth, cholesterol isn't inherently bad. In fact, your body needs it to build cells, make hormones, and support brain function. The real issue isn't cholesterol itself, it's how it travels and accumulates in your bloodstream. Here's the alarming part. According to the CDC, nearly 94 million US adults over 20 have total cholesterol levels higher than what's considered healthy. And worse, almost half of them don't even know it. Why? Because high cholesterol doesn't come with obvious symptoms. Okay. It quietly builds up in your arteries, like rust in your plumbing, until one day it triggers a heart attack or stroke. That's why today's video is essential. We're not just going to throw numbers and warnings at you, we're going to break it all down in a simple visual and practical way. You'll learn exactly what LDL, bad cholesterol, and HDL, good cholesterol, do inside your body. You'll see why too much LDL is dangerous and why boosting HDL is like sending in the hot cleanup crew. But here's the best part. You don't need to rely solely on medication. Science-backed strategies can help lower LDL and raise HDL naturally through small, consistent lifestyle changes. And we're going to give you 7 specific ways to do just that. Think food, movement, habits, and smart choices, not gimmicks or crash diets. You'll also discover what your cholesterol numbers should look like and how to interpret your blood test. Why some healthy foods may actually raise LDL without you realizing. And at the end of the video, we'll bust 2 common myths about fat and cholesterol, one of which might be lurking in your kitchen right now. So stick around, because knowing the difference between LDL and HDL isn't just science, it's life-saving knowledge. And making a few small shifts today could completely change your future heart health. Let's pick up where we left off, because before we can lower cholesterol naturally, we need to understand what it really is. Cholesterol isn't some evil villain hiding in your body. In fact, it's one of your body's most hard-working allies. It's a waxy, fat-like substance found in every single cell, and it plays a vital role in survival. It's used to build cell membranes, make vitamin D, and produce hormones like estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol. Without cholesterol, you literally couldn't digest food, balance your hormones, or build healthy brain cells. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body makes most of it on its own. About 75 to 80% of the cholesterol in your bloodstream is produced by your liver. That's right, your body is hardwired to make cholesterol because it's that essential. The rest comes from what you eat, mainly animal-based foods like meat, eggs, cheese, and butter. So if cholesterol is so necessary, why does it have such a bad reputation? The answer lies in how it travels through your blood. Cholesterol doesn't float around freely. It's carried by special proteins called lipoproteins. Think of them like delivery trucks on a highway. There are 2 major types you've probably heard of: LDL, or low-density lipoprotein, often labeled the bad cholesterol; HDL, or high-density lipoprotein, known as the good cholesterol. Now here's the key. LDL isn't evil, it's just misunderstood. LDL's job is to transport cholesterol to cells that need it. But when there's too much LDL in the blood, it starts to stick to artery walls, forming plaques that narrow and harden arteries. Over time, this can block blood flow and trigger heart attacks or strokes. It's like pouring too much traffic onto a narrow road. The system clogs up and serious problems follow. On the flip side, HDL is like the cleanup crew. It picks up excess cholesterol and brings it back to the liver to be broken down and removed. Higher levels of HDL are protective. They lower your risk of heart disease and stroke, so cholesterol itself isn't the enemy. The balance between LDL and HDL and the condition of your arteries is what really matters. Let's visualize this. Imagine a diagram of your bloodstream. LDL particles are like trucks delivering cholesterol to tissues. Some LDL gets stuck in the arteries, building up plaque. Meanwhile, HDL particles move like vacuum cleaners, collecting excess cholesterol and sweeping it away. This internal traffic system works beautifully until lifestyle habits tip the scales. A diet high in saturated fats, lack of exercise, smoking, and chronic stress can all cause your liver to produce more LDL or reduce HDL's effectiveness. And because high cholesterol has no symptoms, it silently damages your body over time. The good news, you can take back control, starting today. In the next section, we'll dive into the difference between LDL and HDL, what those numbers on your blood test really mean, and which one should concern you the most. But for now, remember this: cholesterol is a natural part of life. It's not about elimination, it's about balance. And knowing how this system works is the first step to making smart, heart-protective choices. Now that we understand what cholesterol is and why your body needs it, let's break down the real stars of the show. LDL and HDL. You've probably heard them called bad and good cholesterol. But those labels? A little too simplistic. The truth is more fascinating and way more important for your heart. Let's start with LDL, or low-density lipoprotein. Think of LDL as a delivery truck. It carries cholesterol from your liver to the rest of your body. That's its job. Your cells need cholesterol to build membranes, make hormones, and keep your body functioning. But here's the problem. Too much LDL in your bloodstream is like having too many trucks on a narrow road. These delivery trucks start dumping excess cholesterol where they shouldn't, along the walls of your arteries. That cholesterol hardens into plaque. This process, called atherosclerosis, narrows your arteries and sets the stage for heart attacks and strokes. It's kind of like letting grease build up in your kitchen pipes. Eventually they clog. Blood flow slows. Oxygen can't reach your heart or brain. Then one day the plaque ruptures, and that's when tragedy strikes. High LDL is the #1 risk factor for coronary artery disease. That's why eye doctors recommend keeping LDL below 100 milligrams per deciliter. If you already have heart disease, some guidelines suggest lowering it even further, below 70 milligrams per deciliter. But LDL doesn't act alone. That's where HDL, or high-density lipoprotein, steps in. HDL is your cleanup crew. Its job is to sweep up extra cholesterol from your arteries and carry it back to the liver where it's broken down and removed. Think of HDL as that friend who not only helps you clean up after a party but also recycles the waste properly. When HDL is high, it's like having a powerful vacuum in your bloodstream, constantly sucking up the debris that LDL leaves behind. That's why HDL is known as good cholesterol, because it helps protect your arteries from damage. Here's the number to remember. An HDL level of 60 mg per deciliter or higher is protective. Below 40 mg per deciliter for men and 50 mg for women means higher risk of heart disease. Let's bring this to life with two real-world examples. Meet Brian, a 58-year-old construction manager. He doesn't smoke, eats okay, but rarely exercises. At a checkup, his blood test shows LDL 142 mg per dm, HDL 38 mg. His doctor explains Brian's LDL is too high and his HDL is too low. That combo, a double whammy. Not only is there too much cholesterol circulating, but his body also lacks the cleanup system to remove it. He might feel fine now, but his heart is under silent daily pressure. Now contrast that with Maria, 64. She walks every morning, eats plenty of vegetables, avoids processed foods, and doesn't smoke. Her numbers? LDL 92 mg per deciliter, HDL 68 mg. Her risk of heart disease far lower, not because of luck, but because of lifestyle choices. Her LDL is managed and her HDL is doing its protective job. So what's the real takeaway? It's not about eliminating cholesterol, it's about managing the balance. That balance determines whether your arteries stay clean and flexible or get narrowed and brittle. Here's a quick tip. Next time you get your blood tested, don't just glance at the total cholesterol number. Look closely at the breakdown. Shot, LDL under 100 mg per deciliter equals optimal. HDL over 60 mg per deciliter equals protective. If your LDL is creeping up or your HDL is too low, that's your body sending a red flag. But here's the good news, you can change those numbers, and in the next section we'll explore 7 science-backed ways to lower LDL and raise HDL without medication. But before we go there, here's your recap. LDL delivers cholesterol, but too much builds dangerous plaque. HDL removes cholesterol and protects your arteries. Your best heart strategy? Keep LDL low and HDL high. So the question is, what are you sending through your bloodstream? Plaque builders or plaque cleaners? Now that we've unraveled the roles of LDL and HDL, it's time to shine a spotlight on why high LDL is such a dangerous player in your body's story, especially when left unchecked. Imagine your arteries as flexible garden hoses. Blood flows smoothly through them, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body. But when LDL cholesterol levels rise, it's like pouring sticky sludge into those hoses. Over time, that sludge sticks to the walls, forming plaque. And this plaque doesn't just sit quietly, it builds, it thickens, and eventually it narrows the inside of your arteries, making it harder for blood to pass through. Your heart, already working tirelessly, now has to pump with extra force just to keep things moving. It's like trying to push water through a clogged pipe. Something's gonna give. But here's the real danger. Plaque doesn't just clog, it can rupture. When that happens, your body reacts as if it's fixing an injury. It sends platelets to seal the damage, just like it would for a cut. But in this case, the repair effort happens inside your arteries, and the result is a blood clot. If that clot blocks an artery in your heart, you suffer a heart attack. If it travels to your brain, it causes a stroke. And the most terrifying part, you might feel nothing. No warning spike, no pain, until that moment strikes. That's why LDL is known as a silent killer, just like high blood pressure. You can feel perfectly fine, go about your daily life, even pass a routine checkup, and still be at serious risk if your LDL has been silently laying the groundwork for disaster. Real stories confirm this every day. A 52-year-old father, fit, active, no symptoms, collapses during a morning jog. The cause? 90% blockage in major arteries from years of untreated high LDL. He didn't feel sick, he didn't know his arteries were slowly closing in on him, but they were, until one day they shut down. That's why knowing your LDL numbers and keeping them in check isn't just smart, it's life-saving. Let's be honest, when most people hear the word cholesterol, they think of prescriptions, lifelong medication, and bland, flavorless diets. But what if I told you that your kitchen, your daily walk, and even your grocery choices could be your greatest defense? Yes, you have more control than you think. Let's explore 7 powerful natural strategies to lower your LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, and boost your HDL, the good guy your heart loves. These tips aren't just backed by science, they're doable, affordable, and life-transforming. 1. Eat more fiber-rich foods. Let's start with one of the simplest and most delicious fixes: fiber. Specifically, soluble fiber acts like a sponge in your digestive tract. It binds to cholesterol molecules and escorts them right out of your body before they even reach your bloodstream. Think of it as a cleanup crew for your arteries. Foods high in soluble fiber include oats and oat bran, beans and lentils, apples, oranges, and pears, flax seeds and chia seeds. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that just 5 to 10 grams of soluble fiber per day can lead to a 5% reduction in LDL cholesterol. That's the equivalent of a small bowl of oatmeal with berries for breakfast. Tasty and heart smart. 2. Add healthy fats: avocados, olive oil, fatty fish. If you've ever feared fat, it's time to rewrite that narrative. Not all fats are created equal. In fact, some fats are heart healing. Enter monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, especially the omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Avocados, extra virgin olive oil, walnuts, and flax seeds. These fats help lower triglycerides and raise HDL. Omega-3s in particular have an anti-inflammatory effect that protects your blood vessels from damage. In a groundbreaking study from the New England Journal of Medicine, participants who consumed fatty fish twice per week had a 35% lower risk of dying from heart disease. So drizzle that olive oil, scoop that guacamole, and enjoy that grilled salmon. Your arteries will thank you. 3. Cut out trans fats and processed oils. If fiber and healthy fats are your cholesterol's best friends, trans fats are the villains. These are artificial fats found in packaged snacks, baked goods like cookies and cakes, fried fast food, margarines, and non-dairy creamers. Even in small amounts, trans fats can spike LDL and lower HDL, a dangerous 1-2 punch for your heart. In fact, according to the Harvard School of Public Health, eliminating trans fats from your diet could prevent up to 1 in 5 heart attacks. Check nutrition labels. Look out for the phrase partially hydrogenated oils. If you see it, put the package down. You deserve better. 4. Move your body 150 minutes a week. Here's a truth bomb. Exercise doesn't just shape your body, it shapes your blood chemistry. Regular physical activity boosts HDL, lowers triglycerides, and improves circulation. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Just 150 minutes per week, that's about 30 minutes 5 days a week of brisk walking, swimming, cycling, dancing, even gardening. According to the American Heart Association, consistent moderate exercise can increase HDL by 5 to 10%. One study from Duke University showed that brisk walking or jogging led to significant reductions in LDL levels. No medication required. Start where you are. Walk your dog. Take the stairs. Dance in your kitchen. Just move. 5. Lose excess weight, even just a little. Did you know that losing just 5 to 10% of your body weight can lead to dramatic improvements in your cholesterol levels? When you carry excess weight, especially around the midsection, your liver tends to produce more LDL. It also ruins HDL's ability to sweep cholesterol away. One study in the Journal of Obesity showed that participants who lost 7 to 10% of their weight over 12 weeks saw a 15% reduction in LDL, a 20% increase in HDL, and significant drops in triglycerides. Weight loss doesn't have to be dramatic or fast. Focus on small, consistent changes. Swap soda for water, add more veggies to your plate, eat mindfully. Over time, these little habits add up and your heart gets stronger. 6. Avoid smoking and limit alcohol. You already know smoking is harmful, but here's a more specific reason to quit. Smoking directly damages the blood vessels and significantly lowers HDL levels. The moment you quit, your risk of heart disease starts to drop, and within just 1 year, it's cut in half. Alcohol, on the other hand, is a double-edged sword. While moderate drinking, like a glass of red wine, may slightly raise HDL, too much can increase triglycerides and blood pressure. Stick to these guidelines. Men, up to 2 drinks per day. Women, 1 drink per day. But if you don't drink, there's no reason to start. There are better ways to boost HDL like berries and brisk walks. 7. Try plant sterols and stanols. These might sound like characters from a science fiction movie, but plant sterols and stanols are powerful natural substances found in fortified foods like cholesterol-lowering spreads, e.g. Benecol, fortified orange juice, yogurt drinks. They block cholesterol absorption in the intestines, preventing it from entering your bloodstream. The National Lipid Association recommends 2 grams per day for people with high cholesterol. Studies have shown that this simple addition can lower LDL by up to 10%, especially when combined with other lifestyle changes. It's an easy way to reinforce your daily diet without needing medication. Bonus tip: regular blood checks. Knowledge is power. Knowing your LDL, HDL, total cholesterol, and triglyceride numbers empowers you to track progress and catch potential issues early. Here are the targets you want to aim for. LDL, bad cholesterol, less than 100 mg per deciliter. HDL, good cholesterol, more than 60 mg per deciliter. Total cholesterol, less than 200 mg. Triglycerides, less than 150 mg per deciliter. Ask your doctor for a lipid panel at least once a year, especially if you're over 40 or have a family history of heart issues. Let's wrap this all up with one empowering truth. Your cholesterol story isn't set in stone. Every time you choose oats over donuts, water over soda, a walk over the couch, you're rewriting your future. You don't need extreme diets, you don't need miracle pills. You need awareness, action, and a little consistency, because small daily wins lead to massive heart health victories. So, what will you add to your grocery cart this week? Which habit will you upgrade first? And now that you know what cholesterol is, how it works, and what you can do to manage it naturally, there's one more crucial step we can't skip: testing. Because here's the thing, cholesterol doesn't cause symptoms. There's no rash, no fever, no sharp pain that screams warning. It just quietly builds up in your arteries until one day it doesn't stay quiet anymore. That's why knowing your numbers is one of the most powerful tools you have. Experts recommend that adults get their cholesterol checked every 4 to 6 years. But if you're at higher risk, maybe you have a family history of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or you're over age 40, it's wise to check more frequently, even annually. So what should you ask your doctor? Start with a lipid panel. This simple blood test gives you total cholesterol, LDL bad cholesterol, HDL good cholesterol, triglycerides. But don't stop there. Ask about your non-HDL cholesterol. Why? Because it includes all the bad particles, not just LDL. And many cardiologists now believe it's a better predictor of heart disease risk. If your doctor seems focused only on total cholesterol, gently push for more details. Ask, what's my LDL and is it under 100? What's my HDL and how can I raise it naturally? Should we also look at my triglycerides or inflammation markers? It's your heart, your future. You have the right to understand what's happening inside your body. Remember, early detection isn't just helpful, it's life-saving. The earlier you know, the earlier you can act. So don't wait for symptoms, make the call, book the test, ask the right questions. Your arteries will thank you. Let's wrap this up with a little myth busting, because even the best intentions can be hijacked by outdated advice. Myth number 1, eating eggs raises your cholesterol. For years, eggs were villainized. People tossed out yolks, ordered egg white omelets, and avoided their favorite breakfasts, all out of fear that a single egg would send their cholesterol soaring. But here's the truth. For most people, dietary cholesterol, the kind found in food like eggs, has very little effect on the cholesterol in your bloodstream. That's because your liver actually produces most of your body's cholesterol, and it adjusts based on how much you get from food. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found no significant link between egg consumption and heart disease in healthy individuals. In fact, eggs are loaded with nutrients like choline, selenium, and high-quality protein that support brain and heart health. So, unless your doctor has given you a specific reason to limit them, you can stop fearing the yolk. That golden center? It's not the enemy. Myth number 2, all fats are bad. This one's still haunting grocery aisles across America. Low-fat yogurt, fat-free salad dressing, skim this and reduce that. We've been taught to treat fat like a 4-letter word, but here's the twist. Your body needs fat, especially the good kind. Healthy fats like monounsaturated fats from avocados and olive oil or omega-3s from salmon and walnuts play a vital role in reducing inflammation, supporting cell structure, and yes, improving your cholesterol. Studies show that swapping saturated and trans fats for these healthier fats can raise your HDL, the good cholesterol, and lower LDL, the bad. So instead of avoiding all fat, focus on choosing the right ones. Think grilled salmon over deep-fried food, avocado on whole grain toast instead of butter on white bread. So, where does all of this leave us? Not in fear, but in empowerment. Because here's the truth. Improving your cholesterol isn't about one big, dramatic overhaul. It's about tiny choices made every single day that build momentum over time. Like swapping white bread for whole grain, choosing olive oil over margarine, going for a 20-minute walk instead of staying seated just a little longer. Small changes compound. They may not feel heroic in the moment, but they're powerful. And when done consistently, they quietly reshape your internal landscape. And remember, it's not only what you remove from your life. Yes, cut the trans fats and limit the ultra-processed stuff, but focus just as much on what you add. Add fiber, beans, berries, oats, add healthy fats, avocados, nuts, salmon. Add movement, dancing in the kitchen counts too. These habits don't just change your cholesterol levels, they change your energy, your focus, your confidence, and most importantly, they protect the heart that carries you through life. Now, does that mean medication is never needed? Not at all. For high-risk individuals or those with genetic predisposition, medications like statins or PCSK9 inhibitors may be part of the solution. But even then, they work best when paired with lifestyle. Pills can only do so much. The power still starts with you. So whether you're 45 and newly diagnosed with high LDL, or 65 and looking to avoid the family history that's been creeping closer, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. Final message. Your cholesterol doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need your attention. And the best part, you don't need a prescription to get started, just the right knowledge and a bit of intention. Your arteries aren't asking for perfection, they're asking for care. You know, like brothers or Cinebet and Omicurries, if you learned something new today, hit that like button. Subscribe to Senior Health Source for more heart-smart videos every single week. And share this with someone who's watching their numbers, a friend, a parent, a neighbor. It could truly change their life. Because when it comes to heart health, what you know can save a life, maybe even yours.